Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Sports News Flash at 12. I am your weekend sports anchor, Miguel Mike Medina. Now, we had one of the most underrated matchups of week 3 in college football, Minnesota versus North Carolina. Minnesota has a great defense. North Carolina also has a solid defense, but even a better offense. The question is, which version are we going to see? North Carolina, is Drake May going to have a good game or a bad game? Is their defense going to show up or not? Minnesota, will their defense remain the same? Their offense is not as good compared to the defense. They have a lot of inexperienced players in key positions, but can Minnesota stop North Carolina? Or can North Carolina get through Minnesota's defense? North Carolina's offense was rolling in the first half. They led 21-10 by the end of the half. Drake May, although he had 2 touchdowns, but he had 2 interceptions in the first half. Minnesota, they gained momentum from the ending of the second quarter and throughout the most part of the third quarter. However, everything changed when Minnesota threw an interception at the end zone, regaining momentum for North Carolina with 2:52 left to go in the third quarter. After that, it was all the Tar Heels. They won this game 31-13. Minnesota, they had so many good opportunities, and they missed those opportunities. They had a lot of drop balls, tip balls. Minnesota basically shot themselves in the foot, and I say that in a respectful manner. Minnesota, they just had chances. And Drake May, he completed 29 of his 40 passes. Finished the game with 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and threw for 414 yards. Tar Heels wide receiver Nate McCullen, to me, he was the star of the game. He had a big game with 15 receptions, 165 yards, and 1 touchdown. I will say that I do like the Minnesota Gophers' potential and where they could go. I even like the head coach. I feel that he's a very good coach for this program. I like what he said in the post-game interview that they will go over the tape and look at everything. He knew that this team missed so many good opportunities, and he strongly believes that this team is a top 25 team. And if they would have won this game, they would have proved that even more. But he still believes that this team can be a top 25 team. They just got to clean up some of their mistakes. Clearly, he's not happy. The quarterback is not happy the way the outcome of the game turned out to be. But if you look back at that third quarter, they built momentum. They just got to capitalize more on the offensive side, because if they would have played much better offense, we would have probably had a different conversation right about now. And now, let's go to the other one, Penn State versus Illinois. Penn State is looking to go up 3-0 against Illinois in terms of the season. Sorry about that. Penn State is trying to improve 3-0 in the season. And Penn State has an impeccable defense. Illinois, if they would have faced, last year would have been different because Illinois was a different team. But this year, they're a completely different team, man. Totally from last year. So can Penn State improve to 3-0? Or will Illinois have something to say about that? Penn State routs Illinois 30-13, and they improved to 3-0 in the season. Their offense wasn't so great, but Penn State's defense was outstanding. Their defense is what won them this game. They were all over Illinois. However, Coach Franklin, he's got a lot of work to do from an offensive standpoint. It was an ugly win. Yes, a win is a win. But if you're going to go up against teams like Ohio State, Michigan, the list goes on and on, you had to play better offense. So the first half wasn't pretty, especially. They picked things up in the second half, but it was their defense. Their defense was the key and the stars of this game. Quarterback Drew Aller, is going to grow from this experience. He had an okay kind of performance, but he will learn from this experience, and we will see in week 4 when they take on Iowa next Saturday at 7:30 p.m. We're gonna go into this commercial. When we get back, we're gonna talk about some baseball. We'll be back after this.
Actually, I'm gonna be traveling this holiday season.
Where are you going?
Well, let's just say it's one of the biggest markets in the United States.
Welcome back to Sports News Flash at 12. The Yankees can't catch a break. They can't catch a break. It's been an abysmal season for them. It's a season that no one saw coming. I didn't see it coming, but things just continue to get worse and worse for this team. They recently called up number 2 prospect Jasson Dominguez, and the moment he stepped into the majors, he made an immediate impact. Throughout eight games, he hit 4 home runs and drove in 7 runs. And now the 20-year-old will miss a lot of action time. He could be out until God knows when, but we won't be seeing him back probably until 2025 season. Yes, it's torturing and it's crazy to say that, but this is a very serious injury. Dominguez suffered a torn ulnar collateral ligament in his elbow, and the recovery time takes about 9 to 12 months. It depends. Everybody's body's different, but usually it takes 9 to 12 months. So I just hope that the kid comes back stronger and better than ever. But man, it's tough to go through an injury like this when you're just getting into the big show. So prayers to Jasson Dominguez. The Boston Red Sox, they have fired Chief Baseball Officer Shane Bloom after 4 seasons. Under Bloom, the Red Sox made the postseason just once, and that was back in 2021, which they lost in the ALCS against the Houston Astros. The Red Sox won the World Series in 2018, but that was under Dave Dombrowski. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Dave Dombrowski, to me, is one of the greatest baseball general managers of all time, and he's one of my all-time favorite general managers in baseball. So after he got hired by the Red Sox in October 2019, things just wasn't going his way. And he did spend 15 seasons with the Tampa Bay Rays before coming to the Red Sox. But this is what happens. This is what happens when major league teams don't take a chance on front office people or have enough patience in them. You gotta have enough patience when it comes to the front office guys like the general manager. When the players don't perform on the field, managers, coaches, front office personnel, they're the first ones to be gone. I don't necessarily entirely agree with this decision. I do think that he'll find a job somewhere else, but I feel that MLB teams in general need to have more patience with the GM. The Red Sox, they have a solid farm system. They really do. It's just that the performance on the field is not bringing winning results. So when winning is not happening, people start losing their jobs. And that's what happened in this case with Mr. Boom. And last but not least, and this one is very unfortunate because he is one of the greatest pitchers of all time. He's definitely one of the best in the modern era and one of my favorites in the modern era. And that is Mad Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer will miss the rest of the regular season with a teres major strain. That's an injury to a muscle connecting the arm to the shoulder blade. According to the Texas Rangers general manager, Chris Young, Max won't be needing surgery for this, but he most likely won't be available to pitch in the postseason. Max had thrown 5 1/3 scoreless innings on Tuesday night against the Toronto Blue Jays before he exited. The Rangers are in a tough spot, guys. They're in a very tough spot. This is the third starting pitcher in the rotation that goes down with an injury. First, it was Jacob deGrom, which him and Max were teammates last year with the Mets. Then it's Nathan Eovaldi, and now it's Max Scherzer that goes down. So when this team is fully healthy, God knows what can happen. But if you're the Rangers, at least you should be happy about this side. And that is that Max is under contract for $43.3 million next season. The Rangers are paying $22.5 million of that $43.3 million. So Rangers fans, you might not have him in the postseason this year, but if he stays healthy next year, if Jacob deGrom and everyone else stays healthy and produce and perform better than this year, sky's the limit for the Texas Rangers next season. That wraps things up for this episode of Sports News Flash at 12. Email me if you have any questions, anything you want to comment about this episode, anything that I can do to help improve on this channel for Sports News Flash at 12. I'm in this for the long haul. I love doing this every Sunday. Sometimes I do it on Mondays, but mostly Sundays, that's the goal. Enjoy your Sunday, NFL Sunday. Enjoy the games. And as always, be safe. May God bless you all. And I'll see you guys next Sunday right here on Sports News Flash at 12.